Now I'm attaching my outer panels to my foam. Now getting one piece of foam felt side facing up, get one outer piece pattern A and place this on top of the foam with the right sides facing up, ensuring there is foam all the way around this outer piece of fabric. I smooth it down and pin into place. Repeat this for both pattern pieces A fabrics. Now I'm taking both my foam and fabric pieces over to my sewing machine and basting all around both pieces. I'm doing this 1/8 in from the fabric edge on the longest stitch possible. I'm using a stitch length 5 on my machine. As I sew along, I'm taking the pins out as I go. Now I have both pattern pieces A backed with foam. I need to trim off all the excess foam on both panels. Do this, but do not cut it into your fabric. Now they have been trimmed of excess foam, it's time to do all the marking out. Take your paper pattern piece A. You'll see a dot at the bottom. Cut that triangle out. Now get one of your outer foam panels A, flip it over, match the pattern piece A to the one side, making sure they match up. Make the dot by drawing it onto your foam back and mark the centre at the top and the bottom. Then flip the pattern piece over and repeat on the other side. You'll need to do this for both A foam panels. So now you have marked out all A foam pieces. Those dots need to be base stitched. So you'll need to sew along the lines of the triangles you have drawn. Do this by a large stitch length on your sewing machine. Make sure you do this for all 4 darts. As you can see, now I've sewn the darts. This will help with the fabric not moving when it comes to making the darts. Now marking out your lining A panels, just like before, but this time we will not need to do any stitching on the darts. So draw those darts in and mark those centres, both top and bottom, and pop this to one side. Repeat this for both lining A piece panels. Now taking your handles, if you are doing my handles, pop your faux leather to one side. You'll need to draw the centre lines on your fabric pieces first. So from the straight long edge, measure up 1.25 inches up and draw a line across, and do this for both fabric pieces. Now taking your faux leather part of your handles, mark on both 1.5 inches from the straight edge, drawing a centre line. Repeat this for both. Now taking your shoulder strap, From the straight edge, measure up 3 inches and draw a centre line across. To make your lining zip pocket, you will need one of each A and B lining fabrics. So we need to find the centre of both panels by folding these in half and finger pressing them so there is a crease in the centre of both panels. So, laying down your lining fabric A, right side facing up, measure from the bottom edge of your panel 3.5 inches up, making sure you line the lines on your rule to the edge of the panel. Now get your panel piece B zip pocket lining fabric with right sides facing down, so this is right side to right side. Line up the centre crease on both pieces and pin into place. You'll notice you'll have an overhang at the top. Don't worry, we will deal with this at a later stage. Now from the bottom edge of your pocket lining B, you'll need to measure up 5.5 inches. So this is where your first zip will go. So as I'm using a 10-inch zip, from the centre crease, draw 4.5 inches one way and repeat this measurement for the other side. So you now should have a 9-inch line. Now from that line, measure up 3/8 of an inch up and draw another 9-inch line. Now join the lines together at the short ends, then you have a letterbox. Find the centre of this letterbox and draw a line. From the short ends, mark a dot at 1/2 inch in and draw a triangle. Now sew on the outside drawn lines using stitch length 3, going backs and forwards at the start and at the end to lock in your stitches. Now you have sewn around the letterbox, get your best friend, your quick unpick, and in the centre of that box you'll need to make a hole through both layers. Get your fabric scissors and cut along that centre line to those triangles. Now cut those triangles to those sewn corners, but do not cut through your sewn lines. Now we are going to pass that zip pocket lining through that letterbox hole. So the zip pocket lining is now on the back of panel lining fabric A. Now give this a really good press using a bit of steam on with your iron. Now you'll see how crisp mine is by spending a bit of time with your iron, giving it a good old press so there isn't any creases in both panels. So now we need to attach the zip. Place a zip on the mat or table with zip pointing upwards. So making sure the letterbox fits your zip, just try the letterbox over the zip. Now I know it fits, I pin the top and bottom of my fabrics so they don't go flapping. I'm using fabric glue. Now place your zip facing up on your mat, then place your letterbox over it and mark 2 dots on your zip tape. This is so we do not glue past this area. Get your glue and make dots along the 2 long edges, making sure you go past, just slightly past those marks. Let the glue go tacky. Once it has, get the letterbox and place it over the zip, making sure it's in the centre of the letterbox and that zip pull is in the centre area of the letterbox. Once it's all lined up, give it a good press with your fingers or take it to your iron and give it a good press with the iron. Now it's set, you'll need to sew all the way around using a zip foot on your machine. So 1/8 of an inch away from the edge from the letterbox. Using a stitch length 3 on your machine, making sure you lock your stitches by going backwards and forwards at the start and at the end. Once you're sewing your zip into place, you'll need to at one stage lift up your pressure foot with the needle down and pass that zip pull through and carry on sewing. Once you have sewn it, go over to your iron and give it a good press. Now with your panel facing down, bring the top half of your zip edge, short edge, down to meet your bottom short edge. Give the fold a good finger press and flip the panel. Now pin the short sides of the zip pocket, ensuring you don't pin the main lining panel A. Do this both sides of the pocket. Like it mentions in the pattern, fold your main lining out of the way. I use wonder clips to help me with this. Now this is important. We are going to sew down the zip pocket linings where we have pinned the 2 short edges. Do not sew the bottom of the panel, as this is the open part for the later stage where the magic happens. Now I've sewn down the 2 sides of the pocket lining, remove the clips and pins and give this a good old press, both lining and pocket. Now you've given it a good old press, pop it to one side and grab the back outer panel A. We need to repeat how we did the zip pocket for the lining, but using the main back A panel. I've chosen the panel that has got 3 squirrels in the centre as my centre back A panel. Using your pattern instructions, or rewind this video to do the zip pocket, on the outer back panel. But the only difference is that the zip pocket bit with the left unsewn line, we have to sew the outer zip pocket up completely. So that's ensuring all 3 edges are sewn on your lining pocket.